Typeface is another important factor that defines the personality of your deck. For example, with everything else being the same, this slide looks modern and bold, while this one looks more elegant. The problem is, when there are so many typefaces available, how to select the most suitable one? First, you need to understand the three main types of typefaces: serif, sans serif, and decorative. Serif is the decorative stroke at the end of the letter stem, and sans means without, so a sans serif font is a font that does not have the stroke. Serif fonts generally have a more elegant, classic, and authoritative look to them. They are often used in books, magazines, and newspaper, as serif fonts are considered easier to read in long-form paragraphs. Sans serif, on the other hand, are more modern, clean, and bold. They are popular with contemporary brands and are usually easier to read on screens because they have a simpler design. As for decorative font, they usually come in handwritten style and are usually used for decoration purpose because they're generally great to look at but harder to read. So where can you find free, high-quality fonts other than the default ones in PowerPoint? Introducing you to Google Fonts. A lot of the popular fonts here are free for you to download. Let me quickly walk you through. Here on Google Fonts, you can filter them into serif, sans serif, and more. Let's try sans serif. You can sort them according to trend and popularity, etc. I would suggest sorting by popularity. Here are the fonts most commonly used by designers from around the world. Let's select one of them. You can also input your sample text to see how it looks with this typeface. If you like it, you can download the whole font family, which you can then install and use. Many people like to use just one typeface in the whole deck, which is fine, but most designers use two, and we call that font pairing, like this or this. I'm gonna share a few of my favorite pairings with you for you to consider in your future applications. First one, Montserrat. It is structured, clean, and easy to read, typically used in contemporary design. In this case, I have used Montserrat in bold for title, medium for subtitle, and light for body. And the opposite, you can use Montserrat extra light for heading, medium for subtitle, and light for body. It is okay to use the thin version of a typeface for the heading and the heavier version for the body, as long as their size difference is strong enough to set the contrast. Libra Baskerville. I have used the same thickness for all levels. The only difference is I've made the character spacing of the title to be tight and the subtitle to be very loose. So you can also use spacing to spice up the design. Biba's New is a favorite in the design world. Its condensed and clean form makes it excellent for headings. You can pair it with Montserrat for a tidy and contemporary pairing. Another bold combo is Roboto Condensed. Again, you can put the title letter tightly together and use a looser spacing in the subtitle for a balanced contrast. You can also replace the heading to Railway Black, which is also very commonly used, and contrasts well with the Roboto Condensed body. Next, Cinzo for the heading and subtitle, and Laura for the body. They are both serif, with Cinzo being classical and also contemporary, and Laura being more expected and easy to read. Oswald Bold with Montserrat Light. This is a highly functional combo that gives great contrast, yet is still easy to read. Bodoni for title, Bodoni Italic for subtitle, and Montserrat Light for body. Bodoni is a classic magazine heading typeface and is very elegant. The pairing of Bodoni and Montserrat is sophisticated and contemporary. Playfair Display. It is very elegant and it works well in italic too, and pairs well with both serif and sans serif fonts. But in any case, if you don't want to download any new font, you can always use default font in PowerPoint. For example, Bell MT and Century Gothic are great built-in fonts to use. Spacing plays a big role in typeface as well. PowerPoint comes with 5 default spacings: very tight, tight, normal, loose, and very loose. You can also fine-tune it under more spacing. For example, if you select loose, it actually expands the spacing by 3 points, which may be too much. You can therefore adjust the spacing until you like it. For example, you can change the number to just 0.8 for a slightly looser spacing. You can also condense the spacing by going to more spacing. Select condensed and say input 3 to make it very condensed. You can also change the line spacing by selecting the line spacing button. Again, you have 5 default levels. You can also select line spacing options to further customize it. Under line spacing, select multiple, which means the spacing will be a multiple of your font size. If you input 1, it will be the same as the default. Select line spacing options again, select multiple. This time input 1.2 to loosen the lines for a bit. We usually allow comfortable line spacing for body text, normal or 1.2, because you need to ensure readability. But for heading, style matters more, so we usually allow less character and line spacing for a more compact look. For example, for this header text, move on to line spacing options and then select multiple and input 0.8 to make it more compact. So when you work in PowerPoint, you don't need to follow the default. You can always fine-tune the character and line spacing to make your design even better.